Okay, well, welcome to Southampton today. You're at the 1865 tonight, currently on your Exile Grace tour.
Yes.
How's it been so far, and how's the response from the crowds?
Very good so far, yeah. Crowds have been great, and everything's going well. We're having a good time.
I mean, I guess it's a relatively short time in a band scenario, 8 years roughly since you formed, I guess. And you've had this is the fourth studio album, plus you've had a live album, which is one of my favourites.
Yeah.
It's fantastic sound. I was talking to Steve earlier about the fact that trying to replicate a live show onto CD or record is difficult.
Yeah,
but
well, I mean, they're two different animals, aren't they? So,
but you've managed it, and it works very, very well.
Yeah.
So as a punter, as a listener, we get that experience, I think, through it.
Yeah.
So, which you can't ask for more than that.
Well, I think if you can play the live show in the right kind of way, the things that are missing, the little intricacies and all the stuff you record that aren't there in the live show, the audience will hear if you play the song right. So the little bits they might hear what they want to hear as well. So it's, if we can play that right and we do the right, so you have to cater for a live situation and a studio. They're both two different things, and you've got to make sure you do the right one for each.
As a musician, though, I guess you're like every other musician on this planet. You're continually improving a song every time you play it. There's always an evolution. Yeah. So at least live, you have that chance to sort of maybe.
Yeah, well, I mean, they always evolve in some kind of way. Songs always evolve along the road, and especially in a live situation. Especially, and certain songs just are built for it. They're built for that evolution, and we just it helps us as well. It helps us enjoy it more, and it makes the songs interesting for us as well to keep playing and
stops them going stale.
Sometimes you just think, why didn't we record it that way? But you know what? You can't think about things like that.
Because with Exile Grace, it's you have a slightly heavier sound to the songs, but again, it works really, really well. Was that a conscious decision? Was that just like an evolution for the band? Or?
Yeah, I think it was just more of a natural progression, as it's been for all the albums. Really, we've progressed naturally into what the next album would become, and this was no different, really. These songs were more like the influences that, especially myself and the others as well, the music that they've been listening to all their life, all of our lives. The music that we grew up with. I find more and more nowadays that the music I listened to as a small child is things that are coming out in songwriting now.
Almost subconsciously.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I remember back now to times when I was tiny and listening to certain bands and certain songs, and all that stuff's the stuff that's coming out in the writing now, and it's great.
Because you've had a lifetime of this in your head, and this in your body. It's natural. It's more of a natural.
It's like it's a sense of freedom as well. It's like there's been this sort of, I've been released from this spell that I was under for a long time of only playing 12-bar blues and listening to things and writing songs in a very restricted manner. Now of course I feel free of that now, that I can write whatever I like.
I'm guessing when you're kind of starting out more and you're kind of pigeonholed into a genre, like these guys are a blues band or these guys are a rock band, but you're not. You're who you want to be at the time, or you're who you are day to day. There's no genre or no pigeonhole, but you have to kind of cater sometimes to get that next step to allow you to be free.
I think the great part about this band and something that we're all very proud of is that nowadays, people will always label you. People will always say, the blues band King or the rock band. But no matter what it is that we do, there's a very distinctive King sound now. And that's great. That's something that we've managed to achieve without thinking about it, without trying hard to do so. We've just managed, I think, with everyone playing together so long and having a real understanding of one another, as well as personally, as well as musically as well. And I think that sort of became the reason for King establishing a branded sound that just says that's who that band is.
Well, it's almost like the last couple of years, although you've had great success from the start, it's almost like there's been another step up. It's almost like taking another turn and it's moving faster again, and the momentum has shifted further. And it's
very nice that people view it that way, that we've had success from the start. Well, I think from our point of view we'd probably argue that, but but yeah, I mean things are moving forward all the time for us, which is great. And to be fair, that has been the case. Sometimes it's moved a bit slower than we wanted it to, and but that happens. We have periods when we leap forward, and then we go at a snail's pace for a little while, and things happen, and that's cool. But as long as you're always moving forward, that's what we want.
And I think as long as you're happy with what you're writing, playing, listening to, exactly like that, you can be true to yourselves. It's not so much of an issue.
Of course, yeah.
So, but I mean, I saw you guys. I think it was January when you had the rescheduled show at Shepherd's Bush Empire. Fantastic show, one of the best gigs I've listened to for a long time. It was amazing sound, and I think you could see you were happy on stage as a band, as a unit.
Of course, yeah,
And you can't fake that?
No, not at all, because the minute you try and fake that, the audience will see through it. Everyone will see through it, and we're all the same. We're all very similar, like-minded people. We're all very honest and open and it's emotional, and if we're not being true to ourselves and playing the way we want to play and doing what we want to do, and if we don't believe in it, then who else would, and why should they?
It's almost like a symbiotic relationship with the fans. You give the energy from the stage, the fans will return that twofold, and it works both ways. And I think you need that for you guys as well as the audience.
Yeah, we have a wonderful relationship with the fans, and we always want to keep it that way. They're a great bunch, whatever town we're in, and collectively the King Army are fantastic, and we appreciate them as much as they appreciate us, and we need each other, we help each other, and we have a great rapport.
I think that's one of the things I was looking at from the outside looking in, is that the social side between the band and your fans is fantastic. There's that connection there, which a lot of bands nowadays, a lot of newer bands certainly have got that. And I don't know whether it's because it's the modern era with the social networking and all that, you tend to get it more, but what it does, it gives the common person that excitement.
I just think, to be honest, I think, in our case, we've done this since the start. What we've done in this game, we've come up with this, and we've done this the old-fashioned way. We started out playing in bars and playing in bands at school and things like that, and just done the hard slog in the back of the transit van, sitting on the speakers and doing it all that way, and built it up. A lot of the younger bands nowadays are absolutely bypassing all of that, and they've got social media to help them sitting in their bedrooms,
and also
they've got a lot of people are getting financial investment put in by whoever it may be. It doesn't matter, but
it does cut corners. But they are found out in the end.
But I think one of the most important parts nowadays of how everyone talks about how the music industry's changed, and I agree it has changed dramatically. But I don't think there's room anymore for superstars. There's no room anymore for divas. You have to have a relationship and a good positive one with your audience. You have to talk to them. You must want to. If you don't want to, then you won't have a fan base for very long, because people don't tolerate that anymore. Prince and Michael Jackson are gone, and they're not coming back.
But they used to make a living from selling singles or albums, and that used to be the mainstay of the music industry, and that's what you get paid for.
Yeah.
Music, record companies would pay. Nowadays, merch, I guess, is like the biggest earner for a band, or potentially is one of the only ways to really make money.
Touring is what you have to do now. You've got to tour everywhere. You've got to tour constantly. That's why myself and countless others these days are all. It's not a fad. It's not a phenomenon. People are cropping up in the newspapers everywhere, in magazines. Oh yeah, well this person, that singer was in getting surgery on their throat. It's because we have to tour constantly. 3 times more than anyone ever used to have to. Yeah. It used to be that you could do your album and just live from selling copies from the shops. Nowadays you can't do that. You've got to work it. Album sales, people buying. One of the worst things about the changing times and technology is that people can access your music for free.
Yeah.
And you know, I never want to get into discussions about stuff like that. I never want to, you know, be that guy who sits and
But it has
gets
changed so
bitter about,
much.
yeah, everyone steals everything, you know, everyone's nicking my music for free, blah blah blah. Why should I? You know, you don't take your car to the garage and expect to get it fixed for free. But you know, it is an issue. It's an issue, and
especially when you're relying on that to earn a living.
yeah,
You know, the same as anybody, like you say,
Yeah.
a mechanic's going to rely on
because
his
at the end of the
trade.
day, people are downloading and streaming your album for nothing and not buying it. Then we have to tour more and more and more. Then problems occur with
Voices and, yeah.
the instruments that can't be put to a shop and fixed.
Yeah.
So then people then complain that you're not playing
Like you
because
said,
you've had to cancel shows. It's like, well, you know,
what do you want me to do,
everything's
yeah?
gone wrong in the music industry. So we're all having to adjust and find our way of doing it.
Go and buy my album, and then my voice will be better. It'll last longer and be fresher, believe me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, festival. Let's talk about festivals quickly. We're coming into festival season now. It's normally a time of year where it just goes nuts, and I know you guys are normally on pretty much every festival going. Well, you have been the last few years. Again, is that same
Yeah.
sort of thing?
Yeah, we've got a few coming up this summer. Yeah, it's you know, we get to do a lot across in Europe and things like that as well. And one of the best ones, you know, we got the mountain, the Steelhouse.
Yes, that's a
We're looking
fantastic
forward to that
lineup
because
this
we
year.
didn't get to it last year, of course. So we're looking forward to being up there. When we were in Wales last night, of course, they were more than enthusiastic to hear about that. So yeah. I mean, there's quite a lot of things to do in the summer. So looking forward to that. I like summer season. I like the festival season because it's almost like the period in the year that we can actually enjoy being in a band.
I was going to say, do you
Because there's a
enjoy
little
seeing
bit of
all those other
respite because you're
bands?
not doing as the touring schedule's not heavy. You know, you're going in and you're maybe doing a couple of days or a day here and there, and you're getting to fly in and out of wonderful places across Europe.
Obviously, you must have a lot of friends at the festivals as well, because you know a lot of bands that are performing.
Well, that's the other thing about it. You get your little chance to catch up with other bands.
And see people,
You know,
that
and
you've been
have
wanting
a
catch
chat
on
to your
stage
friends, you know, and that's the thing, and that's, you know, that's something that, you know, throughout the year when you're touring so much, you don't get to do, you know, you don't get to see anyone.
No, it's and also, again, talking about wider audiences, you have a massive sort of catchment, if
Yeah.
you like, from people that may never have seen you guys before.
Yeah.
And it must be
Yeah,
one of those-
that's well. I mean, that's the beauty of it. You know, you know, festival goers will hopefully stumble upon you, and you maybe capture. If you can get a percentage of that audience, then that's great.
Now I know, I think Shepherd's Bush Empire was the biggest headline show you've done, venue-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, it was a fantastic night, fantastic music. How was it for you guys to sort of?
That was great.
Because obviously it was a rescheduled show from last year.
Yeah.
Did that make any difference? Or?
Well, it made a difference in terms of how we we kind of worried about it, to be honest. You know, when you reschedule something like that, there will be an element, you know, in people's heads thinking, well, is this going to happen again? Will I buy a ticket? Well, I don't know. I'll wait and see till I definitely know what's happening. And that was a worry over the period when, you know, when things were kind of all going kind of wrong for me and my voice. But I think once we did the shows were a great success, and the audience they loved it. And
it was a fantastic
and
atmosphere.
you know, not even just Shepherd's Bush, but all the shows on that run, and
Yeah.
I think we managed to restore all the faith then that if any had disappeared.
It's almost
And then
like
we've carried on since then, and we've been busy. You know, we've been out to Germany and back to the UK and everywhere else. And
I must admit, there's always kinking.
yeah,
So
we were everywhere.
Well,
Yeah.
like you say, you have to.
Yeah.
These days, you have to.
I've got a nice house and I'm never in it.
That's why it's a nice house.
Yeah, it's kept well because I'm not there.
Some were playing somewhere like Glasgow Barrowlands for you guys. Is that one of those venues where you feel humble because it's where your roots were? You know?
Well, I mean, obviously all the guys are aware of the Barrowlands, you know, but you know, and we all know what a great place it is and what history it has behind it as well. But for me, as a Glasgow lad, it's one of the things that you know,
it keeps you grounded as well. I guess,
you know, it's just a wonderful place to be, because for a long time I worked for a stage crew in Glasgow, and I was in there quite a lot, along with all the other bigger venues, the SEC or the Armadillo and the Concert Hall and all these other venues, and working in there, lifting gear in for bands at 7 o'clock in the morning who were getting to play there, and you always thought, well, God, I want to play here.
One day, yeah.
You know, and that is, and we managed to get to play the Barrowlands. That's great, and we will be doing it again this year as well in September when we're out on the road with the mighty Europe. We are at the seaside, aren't we?
So the Mighty Europe tour, does that one takes in the Royal Albert Hall, I believe?
Yes.
That must be quite an exciting.
So, well, yeah, if you can, you can imagine a band wanting to tick a lot of boxes in their career. That's
from a photographer's
doesn't come much better than getting to play the Albert Hall, you know.
Yeah, from a photography point of view as well, it's one of those bucket list venues.
Of course.
And I'm there, I think the week after next for Foreigner and that.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be the first time I've actually shot at the Royal Albert Hall. So I kind of get how you get the excitement. And
well, I mean, you know, just if it's, you know, one of those venues again, you know, it's a very famous venue, and of course we are Clapton fans as well, and that's like his second house. So so getting to play in there, it's going to be fantastic. You know, it's going to be one of those amazing things that luckily enough I think we're all old enough now to not let it pass us by. You know, we're able to go in there and soak it up and enjoy it, you know, and appreciate the whole, like, you know, take a breath and like, yeah, this is where we are. It was kind of like when we got to play Wembley Arena when we were out with Thunder. You know, we walked on that stage, and there's always that fear of like, this is going to go by in a flash, and we're not going to really remember much about it, and it's all going to be a bit of a rush, and it'll be a bit horrible, and by the end of the show we'll feel like it's been an anticlimax. But it wasn't for us, because we'd all experienced enough in doing this, and it was another, it was a bigger venue, that's what it was. But we appreciated where it was and what it was, and we all managed to walk on there, and I think, I mean, it was probably, to be honest, it was probably the best performance of that tour that we did, you know, luckily enough, so in the best place. So we saved our best for last, you know, and it was great.
I mean, I had the same feelings going into silly little places like the 100 Club in London, because of the history behind it. It stinks. The toilets are awful, the carpets stick to your shoes.
Yeah, you should see the dressing rooms.
But it's one of those venues that I love.
Of course, yeah. When you look at all those photographs on the wall, and you think about all those people that have been there, and you know, it's great to have those little clubs that have got that kind of history and those memories in there. But yeah, you're right. I mean, they're just dingy little holes, and if it was anywhere else or called anything else, you wouldn't go and play in it. You just wouldn't.
Right. So I've taken up too much of your time. You need to go and get some food before the show tonight. So thank you.
Wasting away to nothing here.
Well, thank you for talking to us at Two Finger Media today, and have a fantastic show tonight and the rest of the Exile Grace tour.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for talking to us.